All right, so this next comedian comes all the way from Milton. Hey, I got it right, let's go. Been on the scene for a little bit, seen her at many mics, she's killing it. Everyone give your round of applause for Diana Pete, everybody.
Hello, friends. Special welcome to Dave, and Daniel. What's your name, please? Angio, I was hoping it was a D. I recently went through a breakup and I was so happy to see so much D in the front row. I did recently go through a breakup and I really thought that this was going to be the one. Oh, he was so great. But something that people didn't tell me about was that the first brown guy that I dated, they loved their moms way too much. Yeah, it was a little concerning, and so I had to break things off. And I mean, men are not that hard to replace, but what I find that I realize that it's a bit like when you lose your wallet. It's more of an inconvenience when you have a breakup. Like you gotta go and you gotta make phone calls, you gotta give people all your information all over again and start over. And it's kind of, it's more of an inconvenience than anything else, but it's okay, I'll survive that one. I'm gonna get Omar's kind of theme going because one of the things that people don't know about me or would not guess is that I actually lived undocumented for all of my childhood. And I know you're thinking, she's too white to have been undocumented. Thank you. But actually, I'm Colombian by birth. That's Colombia with the 2 O's in South America, not the British one on the West End. Common mistake. And my family arrived here in 1982. My dad was going to come meet my mom here. He had to stay back to take care of business. Turns out business was a young woman that he took care of. I never saw him again, but that kind of behavior comes standard with Colombian men, so my mom knew what she was in for, so it's okay. It's okay, I've gotten over, I've had therapy, you guys can laugh at that. We're good. It was tough though, growing up in the early 80s as a Hispanic kid, because everything that my brown friends are going through now is what the Hispanics went through when they first got here, right? And it's what the Italians went through and the Polish went through. We just tend to forget over time. But I was the only Hispanic kid in my class for a long time. And in grade 4, I see this guy walk into this classroom with this kid at the time, and I'm like, oh my God, he's one of me. I could tell, right, just by the way he looked. And the teacher introduces him, and she's like, hello, classroom. This is Juan? Yes, everybody say hello to Juan. And I'm sitting in the back going, and you se llama Juan, and what is Juan? That was the first time I advocated for my people to be called by the real name. He was only in my classroom for about 6 months, and then he disappeared. And I always thought about him, right? Because I knew that times changed. By the time I got to high school, there were lots of other Hispanics in the class, but I always kind of thought what happened to this kid. When I was in grade 10, John shows up, this new kid in school. And I see him in the hallway. I'm like, motherfucker, it's Juan! And this poor kid got so whitewashed. He was the school's goalie, hockey goalie. I was like, no, not you two, Juan. But anyway, I actually ran into him on Facebook very recently. We had a nice little chat about that. Now, because I did grow up in a primarily white neighborhood, it was all Italians and Portuguese that I grew up with, and I was so desperate to fit in that I actually shied away from a lot of like the Latin culture things, right? I didn't want to learn how to dance salsa, I didn't want to listen to the music. I speak the language, but only at home. I didn't speak outside the house. And now that I'm older, my kids want to sort of, be more rooted, right? Because I have 2, 6-foot-tall white boys, and they feel like they that everybody just thinks they're basic and they want to be more cultured. But I have a friend who recently taught me the term coconut. Anybody know what that is? Yes, it's when yes. What does coconut mean? Yeah, it's like a syrup. It's kind of like when you're brown on the inside but white on the brown on the outside but white on the inside. realized that I am white on the outside, even whiter on the inside. And take what I look like, I'm not so much a coconut as I am a marshmallow. My kids don't find that funny. Thank you so much for the other comments for laughing at that. It is rough though, being this white when you're kind of growing up, because I don't hold any of the positive stereotypes, right? So with every culture, there are stereotypes that are bad, and there's other stereotypes that people cling to, right? So imagine being Caribbean and having like no rhythm, right? Or imagine being Irish and being allergic to alcohol. Right? For me, I can't dance, I can't cook, and I've never done a line of cocaine. I've been Diana B. Thank you so much.
What'd you say, Arthur?